My name is Michael Yell. I'm a captain with the Lincoln County Sheriff's Office. Standing behind me is the Lima Police Chief Lynn Yell, the Colorado State Patrol Commander for the 3 David Troop, Clint Rushing, as well as Kirby Lewis of the Colorado Bureau of Investigation are all part of this team today. I wanted to offer a few statements regarding an officer-involved shooting out here by Lyman early this morning. The Lincoln County Sheriff's Office received a call at approximately 3:15 this morning of a theft in progress outside of the town of Lyman near Interstate 70. A deputy sheriff with the Lincoln County Sheriff's Office was dispatched to the scene and arrived minutes after the 911 call came in. Within seconds of being out of his car and investigating this theft, he was met with a hail of gunfire and was struck multiple times and was immediately retreated back, at which time the shooter then turned his gun on the reporting person that reported this crime. The deputy that was struck multiple times was able to provide self-care and keep himself upright and in a place of concealment, at which time the reporting person was also injured, but was ultimately safe. Regional assets from across the eastern plains of Colorado were called to assist for an officer down, and medical services were rendered to the deputy as soon as possible by members of local EMS. I am happy to report that Deputy Sheriff Michael Hutton of the Lincoln County Sheriff's Office is in serious but stable condition, communicating with officers and the sheriff himself at a Denver area hospital. The family is requesting some privacy to process everything that happened today. While this investigation is ongoing, regional assets were called with the emphasis on a SWAT team as well as canines and drones to be able to assist in locating this shooter. A deceased male was located approximately 1,000 yards away with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Evidence located on that scene is indicative of evidence located on the shooting scene of Deputy Sheriff Mike Hutton. We believe there is no longer a threat to the Lincoln County community as the shooter in this ambush is deceased. I'm not able to identify him, as the Lincoln County coroner will be providing that information when appropriate. I can't answer a ton of questions right now because this is relatively new, and being in the small eastern plains of Colorado, we don't have this happen very often. And so we are taking this slowly but surely with cooperation and with the assistance and the absolute graciousness we can provide of the Colorado Bureau of Investigation as well as the 18th Judicial Critical Incident Response Team. A bilateral investigation is ongoing as to everything that happened out there in these foggy conditions in the middle of the night on a Colorado highway. I can answer a few questions, hopefully, but I'm here to answer those so that we can get this going. Vincent, go ahead.
Thank you so much. What was being stolen and from where out there in the middle of the
It was being stolen out of the back of the semi-trailer. It was forcefully opened by the suspect, and he was actively stealing merchandise out of the back of the semi. We don't have, I don't have the specifics of what the merchandise was, but Deputy Hutton was approaching the back of the semi-trailer when he was met with gunfire.
And was the truck parked there overnight, resting, and perhaps a person stopped and saw an opportunity? Is that kind of what you're piecing together?
You know, I can't answer the why, but I can tell you that the semi-tractor trailer, there were multiple that were involved. Were there for at some point of time, and one of which was a fellow professional driver that called and requested a law enforcement response for a theft in progress.
Sir, when was the last time you guys had something happen like this out here?
March 9th, 2011. That was the night we lost Lima Police Officer Jay Sheridan in the line of duty. 10 years ago in a handful of days.
I know you can't say much about the suspect, but was there a criminal record, or is there anything you can give us in terms of?
I don't have that in front of me, and to be completely transparent, there's been a lot of information. Our focus was keeping our community safe. Our initial focus was getting to Deputy Hutton and making sure that everybody was safe on that scene. Making sure that we could get to him and get to anybody involved in the injured bystander as well as to the shooter and get that scene safe. Once we have a chance to get back to computers and to an office and start printing things, we'll have a better idea of who Deputy Hutton crossed in the middle of the night out there. But right now, we do have information indicative that our suspect in this attempted murder of a peace officer is no longer alive.
What's the status of the reporting party? I know you said they were shot as well.
I tell you, he's in good spirits. He actually refused medical on the scene.
What were the nature of the injuries?
He had a minor abrasion to an extremity, but he's doing great. He's cooperating with investigators right now, and was crucial, absolutely crucial, in this investigation in the early stages. And we can't thank him enough. He too saw evil tonight, and did phenomenal, and helped us with investigative leads.
From what you can tell, is he just sort of a local man that saw something that looked
Nope.
suspicious?
He was a professional driver that was awoken to this theft in progress.
Why was the 60 miles of the highway shut down? Is that normal
It
practice,
im-
or is that because of the fog?
Well, the scene involved part of Highway 40, and because of the long stretches of roadways in eastern Colorado, that was some of our only exit that we could get people safely on an adequate roadway to close it off in certain places so that the roadway was good enough for a lot of our commercial vehicle traffic. So you do see a big closure, but it's so that everybody's safe and we have good detours en route.
How much fog hindered the search suspect?
You know, it was considerable. It was a formidable fog. We were grounded in a couple of different aspects, and we're at the mercy of the fog. And once it finally broke and we were able to burn off, and sunlight came through, like they say, it was drug out into the sun, and we were able to really get this investigation going with good momentum.
Are you able to tell us anything about the weapon that was used?
It was a handgun. I can't tell you that. I don't know make, model, anything like that, but it was a handgun that was a very quick aperture on Deputy Hutton when he faced it.
With Deputy Hutt's injuries, thankfully, as you said, he's doing okay. Was he shot where on the body? How many times?
I don't have those numbers. I don't have the specifics. I know I was told by my sheriff he was shot multiple times. His vest was not struck by any of them, but he was wearing it. And yeah, I don't have the specifics, but he was struck multiple times, more than two.
Talk about him. Is it Michael Hutton?
I can, and I would love to. Thank you very much. Deputy Sheriff Michael Hutton, Hutton. He's a 7-year veteran of the Lincoln County Sheriff's Office. He's a United States Air Force veteran that was a military police officer for close to a decade. We're talking about a guy who is part of our tactical team, who is one of the nicest guys you'll meet. He is our school crossing guard in the town of Hugo. He has a young son. He's married, and I'm happy to report that his family is at his side right now, and that spirits are high in that room, along with the sheriff and the undersheriff. His picture can be found on our Twitter, at Lincoln County SO is our handle. There's a picture of Deputy Hutton that's available. It's a good resolution photograph for everybody to use. That was just posted a few minutes ago, so you'll have that. But he started in the jail back in 2014, and went to the Patrol and Investigations Division, and has been there ever since, and does us a phenomenal job. As I truly hope this demonstrates the character of the law enforcement in eastern Colorado.
What's it like for you and for the entire department before you got word that he was stable and going to be okay?
You know, I struggle to find the word for it. These guys standing behind me here, a lot of us were on that scene where we lost Officer Sheridan 10 years ago. And with Memorial Day coming up in the next 11 days, we make arrangements every year to go pay our tributes. Deputy Hutton, I have a message from him yesterday that he is going to be, I don't know now, he's a little banged up, but we'll get there, was going to be part of the honor detail for the Memorial Day services, and he has been most years, because that's very important to all of us. But I struggle to find the word that we lived for those few hours trying to figure out if Mike was okay. We were all on scene, we all got to see him, and, you know, casualty combat care was administered, different things like that, and I don't know, that's a great word, and one that I'm going to have to come back to, because I don't have it. Scared, and if anybody tells you any different, they're wrong.
How were some of those neighboring agencies able to help you with the search?
We called for everybody. We were looking for a shooter that just took out 10% of our law enforcement officers. We're only 10 wide, and Deputy Hutton represents 10% of us. The sheriff himself was on scene looking for a gunman that had just taken down one of his deputies. And through radio traffic with the Colorado State Patrol, and the Colorado State Patrol is kind of the glue that holds us all together. Their radio channel and different things like that, when we started calling for help, other agencies says we're coming. I have a sheriff from a commanding officer in a neighboring jurisdiction that says we're coming, help's coming. And that's what I needed to hear in that moment. And that's what we had, because between the fog and the darkness, we didn't know what we were about to find, but we knew it had already happened.
Who was able to find him? Did someone spot him and call the police, or was it a farmer? Or?
You know, an area, I think it was a joint operation. You know, we made sure obviously everybody in the area was safe. Multiple reverse 911s went out to make sure everybody knew what was going on, and to see something, say something, lock your doors, pay attention, report anything. And then, you know, it was a joint operation between some tactical officers as well as a local landowner that identified something suspicious, and we were later able to find it. Just the coloration for the once in a great while in eastern Colorado. It's pretty green out here. And so we were able to see some different colors out there in the green prairie, and we deployed a tactical team to it, and that's when we located the deceased male.
Did the person who reported the theft, is that the same one who got shot, the truck driver who reported?
I don't want to say that he got shot. He was injured in the incident, but yes, he was the RP as well as injured, and he was standing next to Deputy Hutton when the ambush occurred.
Was that his truck?
No, it was a different truck. I believe, don't quote me on that one, there were multiple commercial vehicles in the area.
So an abrasion doesn't necessarily mean a gunshot wound?
No,
Okay.
nope,
And
he refused medical on scene.
Thank you. And do you know what was being stolen from the 18-wheeler?
I don't have that information. It was general merchandise. It was dry goods, if I remember right, but I don't quite know what it was.
And was Deputy Hutton wearing a body camera that would have been activated during this incident?
Yes, he was. That's how we knew who we were looking for. So he was wearing a body cam as well as most responders that got there. Obviously, when a call goes out that one of your deputies has been shot and that he's fighting for his life in a ditch, we went as fast as we could get there. So there's body cam of multiple different commanders as well as responding units that got there. And all of that is being evaluated by the Colorado Bureau of Investigation as well as the Critical Incident Response Team of the 18th Judicial District.
Can any of that be released to us as soon as possible?
You know, I need to get clearance from the CERT team as well as CBI. That will be something that will be released at some point. I just don't have a timeline on that just yet. But that is something we are exploring.
And forgive me for this geeky question, but you had the body camera on. Did y'all download the video and look at it and then know who to look for? Is that the way it works?
To an extent, yeah.
Okay.
Yep, it was recovered on the scene, and we were able to launch an investigation based off where Deputy Hutton at the time could not communicate. His body cam was able to for us.
Did Deputy Hutton have to at all shoot or exchange fire?
You know, that's under investigation right now. There's so many moving parts and different things like that. I knew that question was going to come up, and one that I just can't answer just yet. But it is being evaluated by multiple facets at this time. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. I don't anticipate having any more briefings. Given where we are in the investigation, this is going to be a meticulous and long investigation that will take time both on scene as well as after the fact. And I appreciate everybody coming out here. But we ask for your thoughts and prayers for the Lincoln County community as well as Deputy Hutton. He's got a long road ahead of him, but one that he's not going to be alone. And we're going to be there with him. And thank you guys very much.
Our thoughts are with the department too.
Thank you. We appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, I guess that's what we're doing today, huh?